Our guest today is a nurse practitioner that specializes in aesthetics. Located in the Plantation area, please help me to introduce aesthetic nurse practitioner Tiffiny.
Hi, Jonathan. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, so my name is Tiffiny Wilson. I'm located, as Jonathan said, in the Plantation, Fort Lauderdale area of Florida. And our practice's name is MotherDaughterPrimaryCare. As unique as it is how it sounds. Me and my mom work here and own this medical practice. And I work on the aesthetic side. And my motto in aesthetics is basically not to change anybody's appearance, but just to give them a more youthful looking appearance and build upon what they already have.
All right, Tiffiny, so what do we got going on today?
So basically, this is a mick B12 shot.
Nice.
And what this does is it speeds up your metabolism. So what's in mick, or they call it mick, is methionine, inositol, and choline. Also, there's the B12 vitamin. Synergistically, they all work together to speed up your metabolism and help you lose weight faster. When you're on this in combination with eating right, exercising, and doing the right things, when you're on this weekly, some patients, they lose between 2 to 3 pounds a week.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Super cool.
So let's give you a shot.
That was nothing.
Was it good?
Yeah, I didn't feel anything.
Good. Okay. That's my mosquito shot. So
yes.
I don't want my patients uncomfortable.
How long will this last?
So basically, you're going to feel some energy. Basically, some of my patients tell me it lowers their cravings. It lowers their wanting to eat what they're not supposed to eat. It also gives them a lot of energy. So, the patients who are like, oh, I'm not feeling going to the gym today. It's almost like drinking coffee and having coffee in your system every day for about 1 to 2 weeks. That's why we recommend you come in weekly for about 8 weeks. So sell these in packages.
Wow, super cool, super cool.
Okay.
Hey, Tiffiny, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Nice, nice. I always like to start by asking my guests, how's everything been since COVID-19 and just the whole thing of everything going on?
Oh, wow. So that's a loaded question. But on the primary care internal medicine side, I hate to say business has been good, but, we are one of the few practices during the height of COVID that was actually treating patients via telemedicine for COVID.
Wow.
Most of the providers around South Florida, because they didn't know a lot about it. And it honestly, quite frankly, it was very scary. So they were sending patients, go directly to the ER, if you can't smell, or, go directly to urgent care. But the patients that were our patients that we obviously knew, that were our regular patients, once they had symptoms, they knew just to call us, and we would get on a video telemedicine screen with them and we would treat them. So that side of it was great, that we were able to help so many people. The other side of aesthetics, it was a little tough because that they did, clamp down on alternative procedures. We couldn't do those for a while in the state of Florida. So I know some providers were even doing drive-by Botox. We weren't doing that, obviously. But so I think that part of it was tough. But, we held out and we're here.
Nice, nice. And that's so cool that you do not only in-person medicine, but actually telemedicine.
Yeah.
How hard was it to kind of get that part of the business down at first?
So at first, we really didn't even plan. Once we opened back in November of 2019, we didn't really even plan telemedicine. Yeah. We just planned in-person visits. However, what I like about our practice and Mom and I working together is that we're very adaptable. So when a need arises, we are there to meet that. So when our patients were calling us and some of them were super critical, and they're calling our office phones and they literally sound like they can't catch a breath. And they're like, I don't want to go to the hospital because, in the hospital, people aren't having good outcomes.
Yeah.
Could you please help? So I was like, well, I guess we're going to have to. Mm-hmm. So we just started instituting it based off of that need, literally in January, February of 2020. based off of that need, we just decided, you know what, we're just going to start FaceTiming everyone and doing telemedicine visits for them and providing that. We couldn't have them come in, obviously, because we didn't want to get sick, but we wanted to help. So.
And that's super cool. I mean, you reinvented yourself, when some part of your business was closed. Well, how else can we still operate this business within regulations? So that's what it takes to really survive.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So let's go back to the beginning. How did you get started in aesthetics, and what made you want to get started in this crazy industry?
So, okay, so I got started in aesthetics. We had planned our grand opening for, November of 2019 on a Black Friday.
Yeah.
So before that, I had been looking for an aesthetics position, a job in aesthetics or in a dermatology office, and nobody would hire me because I didn't have experience. So when we were opening, I was just like, and I had always been interested in aesthetics. I've always taken trainings like back from 2018, just, different trainings because I've always been interested in it. And at that point, I was like, Mom, let's make room 5 my little aesthetic room. I'm not saying it's going to do well or not. I'm just saying, let's do that because I've always, had such an interest in it. Never was able to get hired in it. I have all these trainings that I've done and none of them are being put to use. So she's like, that's a great idea. So that's kind of what drove me to it because no one was hiring me. So just created my own.
So I have so many questions out of that one thing you just said. Let's first start off with the branding, mother-daughter. Now that's really great branding. What made you guys want to partner together? Tell me about that story.
Okay, so in Florida before COVID, I think the nursing profession as a whole, RNs, LPNs, nurse practitioners, I think the nursing profession as a whole is just wasn't appreciated. We would work, me and my mom, we worked for two different companies, 2 major companies, insurance companies. And we worked tirelessly. We worked so many hours. There were some days I'd work 60 days in a row. Same thing as my mom.
Yeah.
And, the bonuses that we got, it was just an unthankful position. And, our managers weren't very thankful. Our patients, they usually feel sick, so they're not really at their best. But our managers in these large companies are just always wanting more, and you can't really give more than working 30 days a month, right? So it just became too tiresome. I ended up having my 3rd child, and she was a surprise. She's wonderful. But I worked so much, I went into preterm labor at work.
Oh, wow.
And ended up delivering her early.
Wow.
And she had a whole bunch of health problems. And I carried a whole lot of guilt. And during that time, my mom missed the birth, which was traumatic in and of itself, because she was at work. So we were just, my husband and even my dad was like, this is not life. Yeah, you got great stock options, you got, all these great benefits, but literally it almost costed, the baby her life, and now she had all of these complications that we now have to deal with. And it was a huge burden. So my husband, as wonderful as he is, he was like, you're quitting. He was like, I can't control your mom, but you are done. Like, you're quitting. He wrote my 2 weeks letter of resignation, or it was a month. He wrote that. And that was in January of 2019.
Wow.
And he said, and I'm going to open you a medical practice. And, your mother feels the same way. I think it should be called mother-daughter primary care. And you guys take care of each other, and you guys take care of your patients. Your mother shouldn't have missed the baby's birth, and you shouldn't have had the baby this early. So what you're going to do and what your basis is that patients aren't going to be a number, and you're going to take care of each other, and you're going to take care of them. So that's kind of where that came from. And we specialize in literally, when you're here, you're not a number, even on the primary care internal medicine side. And we want to get you together. We practice holistically, as well as, we do believe in medications when they are necessary, but we believe in diet. We believe in exercise. We believe in lifestyle changes. We believe in getting the health and keeping the health that you already have and improving and building on that. This earth is made of so many supplements. Hippocrates says, let thy food be thy medicine. So yes, we are nurse practitioners, but that is our core beliefs. And our patients, we want them to look good inside and be well inside and look great outside. So.
Wow, that's interesting, because I think the same way, and I think a lot of providers that are in the South Florida area do think the same way and are changing the game, and that's interesting in fact of itself, because a lot of people are so used to treating with medication, but the other routes are also so effective. They don't give you all those downfalls that you may experience with the medication.
The side effects.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
Super interesting, super cool. Tell me, so what made you, like, I know you were having trouble getting a job and getting into the industry. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, why do you think you were having so much of a trouble getting a job with the training and all those things?
So exactly, like I had a bunch of training on my resume, all of the different events that, the trainings that I did attend and get certificates for. But especially when I would apply, I wouldn't even get a call back saying, or get a call even I wasn't even interviewed.
Yeah.
So it was during the time of leaving this huge insurance company, which was in February of 2019 to about June of 2019, because when my husband said, you know what, I'm just filing for the business, I don't care. He filed January 17th of 2019.
Yeah.
Before I even quit. He filed for the business. And I was like, you can file it, but I want to work in aesthetics. I want a job in aesthetics. So I'm going to find a job. And that didn't happen. So, I mean, I applied probably like to hundreds of jobs.
Wow. Down
here. Anybody who would, any dermatology office, even if they weren't hiring, I'd find their fax number and send them my resume. I was still like I wanted to be in there. I just had no openings or no connections in there.
Okay, yeah, and people find it challenging to get jobs, especially in South Florida area, because everybody wants experience.
Yes.
And they're like, well, how do you get the experience? How did you get your experience in aesthetics?
So once we opened the medical practice and this little room that I pegged as my aesthetics room, clients, they just came to me. Really? I guess, obviously, my family was my guinea pigs, like my mother, my cousins, all my family, my friends. And I guess I started showing their results on Instagram. I started, they started walking around. I have a lot of nurses in my family, and doctors and stuff like that. So they start walking around the hospitals, and it was like, where'd you go? Oh, my niece, oh, my cousin. Oh, so literally because of them, because they trusted me, they knew I wouldn't technically mess them up. And they trusted me. I guess their friend, it was definitely word of mouth, a lot of word of mouth. And it was, I started posting on Instagram, started using social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And literally my clientele just started growing and growing. And that's how I started getting a lot of my experience. And after that, it's funny because I had a lot of practices reach out to me via Instagram, like, hey, can you work 2 days a week here?
Wow.
Can you work 1 day a week here? We have a spot, we do have a need. Would you be as, kind to interview with me? Because we definitely need an aesthetic NP and you have a lot of experience. And I got busy, so I wasn't really able to do that. But that's how I gained my experience. And, that's why I still have my experience, because of the practice.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. What gave you that confidence to really just say, I'm picking up a needle, I'm doing this? A lot of people are so scared, they're shaking when they pick up a first needle. They don't know what to do. Even after years of training and stuff, they still fear it. What made you kind of give you that confidence? I think the confidence,
I think I was still scared because, you have to respect that it is a needle. And with the needle, you can do good or you can harm. And I think my confidence was built because the first patients and clients that I had trusted me enough, and they were friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely was like super, like, I'm like, I can't maim my best friend. Like, I can't blind her, or, I can't maim her. So literally after my best friend, or even my mom, she might not be happy I said that, but my mom gets aesthetics. So, but even my mom, when they jump up and they're like, oh my gosh, you did such a great job. It's like you're an artist. And their friends start literally asking them, oh my goodness, can she do me too? I think that built my confidence. So once again, it started back to my roots.
Yeah, I get you. I can definitely understand. I wanted to touch on that. You said, like, when you said even your mom, like, a lot of people are hesitant to get it. I'm Jamaican, and I talk to my family about it. They don't even know what aesthetics is, or they're hesitant about it. And there's so many benefits I see, and obviously because I'm in the industry. Do you see that a lot in your community?
Yeah, so I'm Jamaican too. And basically before I started doing aesthetics, no, my mom, a lot of my family, they never had anything done.
Yeah.
They're definitely naturalists and herbalists. As most Jamaicans are. Yeah. And I'm Trinidadian also. So a lot of my family, no, they were, and I had to, when I first literally asked my mom, she said, no. Oh, you're not touching my veins. She says, no way. Because she is from Jamaica. And she's like, no, I'm good. Like, I just drank Ceracete. My skin is clear. Things like that. And, finally she trusted me. And I said, listen, let's just do a little sprinkle of Botox. That's it. It's nothing. It's just... And once she had that first Botox, it's been over. Like, I can't get away from her. Like, she wants Botox like every other month. And you can't do it every other month. So I think there is definitely a point of culture being, some cultures are very aware of it. American culture, my best friend, she's American. She was like, great, sign me up, so she was great. But culture does definitely play. And I had to do a lot of educating. So my family would start trusting me to even practice on their face. So, I had to do a lot of education for that.
And I believe it. And that's amazing. What trends are you seeing right now in the aesthetic industry right now? Like, what popular things are people using? What do you suggest most to your patients?
So the trends that I'm seeing, definitely, like, the signs of youth. That is the trend. So, and I'm more on the side, less is more.
Yeah.
So the trends of youth and the signs of youth, meaning, youthful looking lips that don't have a bunch of cracks in them, right? They call those lips dehydrated. So you hydrate them with hyaluronic acid, right? So yes, it is lip filler, but you're also providing hydration. A defined jawline says a lot for women and for men.
Yeah.
Threads have taken over completely. That is about 70% of what I do every week is threads. I mean, all the other stuff, yes, but threads, literally, I had a patient this very week who had a facelift about 15 years ago come to me for threads. And I'm like, instead of going for another facelift, she's like, oh no, like, I've seen your results. Like, this is literally like a non-invasive facelift without anesthesia. I don't have to go under anesthesia. I don't have to wake up feeling terrible. Literally, I can get this done in an hour and I can go back to work. So threads have literally changed the game. They fixed jowls. They fixed nasolabial folds. They fixed necks. They fixed everything.
Wow.
You can fix your belly button with threads. Okay, wow. You can fix everything. So.
And that's so interesting that you say that, because a lot of providers that post before and after pictures, and people always say, hey, do I need surgery or can I get the threads? And they always say surgery is not as effective as the threads. But the patient you just mentioned said it works great. So that's a good sign to hear for sure.
Yes.
Do you use social media to gain clients? How big is social media for you? I know TikTok is the #1 source right now.
Yes, it is.
Instagram is doing great. How big is it for you?
So social media definitely does play a huge role in my new clientele.
Nice.
TikTok and Instagram and even Facebook. A lot of clients find me through hashtags. They find me through, there's different ads that you can post with all three of them. You can pay for an ad and post it. And a lot of them find me that way.
Wow.
So those are huge platforms that are free, that is literally free marketing. And my first degree was in marketing.
Oh.
So when we had our grand opening, Channel 7 was here. It was aired on Fox News. It was aired even in England.
Wow.
Because my first degree from Florida A&M University, so I have 3 degrees.
Nice.
The first one was in marketing. And I had a lot of the news stations come out because, Mom and I did this thing and, we wanted to celebrate it. So literally I use whatever platform I could get my hands on, especially social media.
So I did actually a news reporting on Miami Beach, and I asked everybody that walked past me, how do you find Injector? What makes you want to find Injector? And they always say when you're personable or when they get to know you, who you are. Yeah. How do you know how much to share? What's the balance with that?
Oh my goodness. So I don't know. I haven't found the balance.
Yeah.
As I even told you before this interview, I think I'm gonna change my phone number because half the patients have my number, my personal phone number. So I really probably haven't found a healthy respect or balance for that. Because here at Mother Daughter Primary Care, I see patients as more so family and friends. So as a nurse, even when I became a nurse and I took my NCLEX, I became even an RN, every patient in a bed, every patient that I touch, they are somebody. They are somebody's family member. They are somebody's special person. So then they become mine. So literally, I don't have a balance right now. I'm working on that. I'm working on boundaries. But literally, I think when patients see you being genuine and you being authentically caring, yes, everybody has only 24 hours in a day, but it only takes a moment to show someone that you truly care. When they feel that, and it's authentic and it's not forced and it's not fake, that's when they know that they're home. And that's why patients call here we don't feel like we're going to the doctor. We're just going to see your friend. So.
And that's really cool. I mean, I definitely think the personable is what makes it, as I just said, and it's good that you agree also.
Yes.
Now I want to take this time to dive deep into Tiffany's Instagram. We're going to talk about some of her procedures that she's been doing and get some more context on it. Okay. All right? So let's do it. All right, so let's talk about the picture with the PDO thread, right? You took the patient from day to night. Tell me about that a little more.
So, basically, the PDO thread patient that you're talking about, so she had procedures literally, and these PDO threads are amazing because they last. Yeah. So the picture that you saw was a year after result from her first procedure and her only procedure. So she hasn't had any other procedures of PDO threads. It's not like she came back for more threads because here started sagging. She got a full face of threads. She got her mid face done. She got her lower face done, and she got her neck done. Wow. And she definitely got other things done like Botox, filler, and her change was so dramatic because even her eyes and her tear troughs, which at that time she had no tear trough fillers, that was even helped with the threads, the lifting. Wow. The lifting of the threads are amazing. They're barbed, so literally when they're inserted, they hang onto the tissue inside, and you literally are lifting the patient's face up. Wow. And her tear troughs disappeared. I was like, you're going to need tear trough filler after. She didn't for a while, So, and the results that you saw were literally, I did that on her 1 year PDO thread birthday. Wow. And it was the picture that you saw in the video. She went on Instagram Live just saying, this is my results after 1 year. I'm so thankful. I'm I have to always go to MotherDaughterPrimaryCare Aesthetics because they're amazing. Like she was doing a video on that. She was like, this is a year later, guys, you know? So that's what PDO threads, they last from 2 to 5 years. So they're more of a long-term solution instead of getting, you know, I mean, you can definitely, filler has its place, Botox has its place, you know, all the other procedures have their place, but they are a very long-lasting procedure.
So to my understanding, there's 2 types of threads, right?
Yes.
The sugar ones and then the barbs, or is it, am I correct? Or
yeah, okay, so smooths.
Okay.
Okay, and so some people call them sugars, some people have different names for them. Here we use like the smooth threads.
Gotcha.
And smooth threads are for creping of skin or wrinkly skin. So some ladies or gentlemen may have some wrinkling, sun damage even, smoker's lines, things like that, or on their skin, on their neck. All you do is you insert those smooths in, and you can insert them in a pattern. And basically they build all the PDO threads, they build collagen. So what looks as wrinkly and all the little smoker's lines that some people have, eventually those are going to fill in with your body's own collagen.
Wow.
And the PDO threads, those threads are going to disappear.
Wow, it's super cool. No need for like surgical procedures anymore. To a point, you can actually do non-invasive now, which is changing the game.
It is, and it's exciting.
Yeah.
You know, it's really exciting, and it's an exciting time in aesthetics. You know, people are opting more so for lasers and just treatments that don't involve anesthesia, because anesthesia is so rough on so many people. Anesthesia, some of my patients who come to me for PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma hair rejuvenation, they literally have lost some of the front of their hair from anesthesia. It causes hair loss. People don't even know that. But, you know, they're like, oh, we're never doing this again. So we're going to have to figure out a way with this body some other way without going under the knife. So it's an amazing time in aesthetics.
Amazing. So let's talk about your second photo. We're talking about the one with the PRP and the hair.
Oh, that
literally grew so much, and PRP is becoming so big, as you just discussed. Tell us a little bit more and give us a little bit more context on that picture.
Okay, so that picture was one of my beautiful clients. She likes parting her hair in the middle, and over time and as we age, especially if you wear the same hairstyle, same part, you can experience it. And some people, they just have alopecia as they get older, and they have some hair loss. So basically what PRP did for her, and she's going to be on her last treatment in a few weeks.
Wow.
So she's has her total new head of hair. But what PRP did for her, because her part was super wide, her part was about, which going down the middle, was probably about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick. So that's not really a part anymore. It's not a middle part. So what we did, PRP involves, you know, you take the patient's, their own blood. This is your own body healing itself, in other words, right? You take the patient's blood, you spin it down in a centrifuge, and you collect the plasma on top, or they call it the liquid gold. You collect that on top, and what that liquid gold contains is platelet-rich plasma. And when you inject that into the scalp, it almost behaves like stem cells. And it's going to grow back whatever was supposed to be there. So since these are hair cells, it's going to grow back your hair. You know, like people do, they call them vampire facials. And then you get like such a smooth, radiant complexion. Why? Because when you inject PRP even on your skin, it's going to grow and it's going to make your skin have better skin. So those cells are going to rejuvenate what should be there. And it's literally, it's from your body. It's not, you know, there's really no allergy to it. It's from your body literally repairing and healing itself. And of course, along with my vitamin supplements and everything else. And I always say, as you get older, listen, and if you want to look a certain way and feel a certain way, either you're going to take meds or vitamins. Either you're going to go to the hospital or go on vacation. Either you're going to work out or you're going to be in physical therapy. But the choice is going to be yours, health or not.
Yeah. No, and I like that. I totally agree with that also.
Yeah.
Now, we're in your office right now. It looks amazing.
Yes, thank you.
And I know you just like did some renovations, so it looks great. Tell me, what services do you guys offer here?
So on the aesthetic side, we offer PRP, as we spoke about,
Nice.
threads,
Nice.
fillers, Botox. We offer mesotherapy. We are going to start offering IV hydration. That room is under construction and it's coming soon. And yeah, so we offer those services.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. And when are you guys open?
We're open Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5, and one Saturday a month. And it may be going back to 2 Saturdays. We were open 2 Saturdays a month, but now it's down to 1 due to the recent loss of my grandmother. It was really traumatic, but we're going to be opening back to 2 Saturdays a month. But for now, it's 1.
Nice. Come visit her. Come visit her.
Yes, I'll take care of you.
Now, with everything changing in aesthetics so much, what are your views on continuous education?
Oh my God, you have to always go to education. PDO threads weren't even in this country. I think it came on the scene like within the last 10 years. So education, there's always so many new procedures. If you think you've learned everything, and if you can't stop learning in aesthetics because there's always a new and improved technique or a new and improved, better way, safer way to do something. It's great to always learn and be refreshed on the anatomy, the human anatomy of the face and of the neck and of wherever you're working. If you don't know that anatomy down to a T of wherever you're performing your procedure in, then you shouldn't be performing a procedure there. So continuing education hours are a must. Education and going to continual trainings every single year. Even as nurse practitioners, medical doctors, my brother is in med school right now. All of us, even just to maintain your license as a nurse practitioner in any state, you have to do continuing education. Aesthetics is no different.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think continuous education is important also because it's always fun. It's a good idea when nothing goes wrong. It's not a problem. But as soon as something goes wrong, you need to know what to do, how to do it.
Absolutely.
And I preach on that so much because that's what gets to your confidence when you know exactly what's going on, what can be the reverse effect of it. What do you do in complications? Do you call in somebody in your community? Tell me about that.
Yes. So basically, at Cute Looks Medi Spa, she's like my whole mentor, Ebony Blackwood. And she's such a dear friend and she has so much knowledge. She actually has a teaching facility, part of the Audrey Rose Institute right here in South Florida. And, she's only a phone call away for me, thank God. I do have a medical director as well. So I do call on colleagues and I do call on my medical director. I haven't necessarily had to do that, but even if I've had questions, so usually I'll reach out to Ebony. That's the truth. I'll just reach out to Ebony. She's only a phone call away. She'll text me back if she's in the middle of a procedure or something or in the middle of a class, and she'll get right back to me and she'll answer my questions. And we walk through any problem that may arise, but we haven't really had any problems, but I do always have questions and stuff.
And that's good because it's always good to know what someone else is doing, how somebody else is practicing.
Yes.
Do you study other countries and how they practice aesthetic medicine?
Yeah, I do. In Europe, they have a lot more than we do.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm not even going to say the things they have. They have a lot more. Yeah. Even when it comes to dermal fillers, they have such a variety of just everything. So, and the results in Europe, they're amazing. It's just the FDA, we have it. It's great. Big brother. Thankful. I guess we're grateful for them.
Yeah.
They pretty much we can practice what we can practice here.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But in Europe, you go over there, you see literally, even for body contouring, for example, in Europe, they have so many dermal fillers over there that they can use that is not approved here, that we cannot use here. And we don't I know we definitely don't, but the results are amazing.
Yeah.
It looks like someone had surgery, but they didn't. So, that's definitely their standards and their guidelines, but we have our own and we have to follow them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like I follow people like Dr. Naomi, and she's really great. She shows a lot of like what you can do in the UK and the
Oh,
type
yeah.
different things that they can do.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think the market will ever catch up in the US or?
We can, like I said, the threads
Yeah.
that were in Europe, like before 10 years ago,
Yeah.
I had a patient. She's from Russia. She's like, I had threads like 15 years ago in Russia, and I feel like we invented the procedure. And I was like, was it old when you had it? She was like, yes, it was an old procedure when I had it 15 years ago. And I'm like, wow. And I guess her threads lasted that long because she came to me for them.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, you had that like 15 years ago. And she literally was like, yeah, and everybody had been getting it. I was one of the last ones, of my friend group to get it. They've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's old over here, over there. But I guess it's new here. I'm like, oh, I don't know if we'll ever catch up. Everything is very regulated, and it's regulated, I guess, for a good reason. But the results coming out of Europe are amazing. So.
Wow. All right, Europe.
I know.
Is there any continuous education or any conferences that you would suggest for the viewers to maybe check out that would be great for them?
Absolutely. So Audrey Rose Institute is an amazing, they have a great school. They have a location that Ebony is in down here in South Florida in Boca Raton. They do a lot of trainings. They have a cadaver lab once a year in October that I've been to. Basically, a lot of the vendors like MERS and Galderma, they have trainings too. New providers, you just need to ask like, hey, what upcoming trainings do you have? And sometimes those trainings are free to you, especially based if you order a lot.
Yeah.
Those trainings will be definitely open and free for you. You just have to reach out to your rep. And those trainings are like, I have, there's one next month, I believe, by Galderma. And then there's like 3 this month by MERS.
Wow.
So they'll, once you have your rep and once you have your accounts established, just your reps will definitely invite you. And, just be sure to bring it up to them that you're interested in that. There are also, different, like I said, what is it? There's a school in Boca also. Not in Boca. There's another school in Coral Springs. And they have different schools around here where you can just jump in to get your feet wet. But, I would send all my students, any nurse, because I do precept nurse practitioner students on the internal medicine side.
Wow.
So if they're interested in, aesthetic medicine, I would send them to Cute Looks, AKA the Audrey Rose Institute, which is right here in Boca. If they want more information and things like that.
Now, internal medicine I see it a lot more in the aesthetic clinics. A lot of people are adapting that. And that's good to know that you actually do precepting. How does someone get in that if they would like to?
So I do a lot of postings through social media. There it comes. So me and my mom, we do precept nurse practitioner students. They can feel free to call our office at 954-744-0020, or they can email us at twilson@motherdaughterpc.com. And, we usually take a total of 4 students a semester. So my mom will have 2 and I will have 2. And that's about as much as we take because we don't want our patients overwhelmed. We're coming out of COVID. I'm not trying to have 5 people walk in a room. So that's the amount we take. And it is on a first come, first served basis. And most of the students that I've had students that I've seen graduate so far. So I'm so happy I can say that I'm open that long. They came to me for their first clinical ever. And then I've attended their graduations.
Nice.
So I have
cool.
students like that, and it's great to see the cycle. And they've been with me every semester that they could be with me. During COVID, I think a lot of the women's health was shut down. Like a lot of the doctors were not allowing students in. So they allowed, because we do women's health, but not obstetric work, no pregnancies, but women's basic health here. So a lot of the students were able to use us for that term so they wouldn't have to sit out for that semester. And literally, I would see them in internal medicine. I would see them all the way through their practicums, women's health. I would refer them out to peds because I have a peds provider that loves all my students and takes them. So I would refer them out to him, and then they would come right back. And then I'd be like, get me the graduation tickets because me and mom are coming.
Yeah.
So we're here for you from day one to graduation.
Super cool. And I'm actually going to post that on my page because I love to give information for people to, follow their passion, follow their dreams. There's so many people that want to get into this and don't know how, whether it's internal medicine, whether it's aesthetics, whether it's whatever, wellness, things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit. I want to go back to the cadaver course, right? And I hear so many providers talk about this. What do you think? Do you think it's like mandatory that every provider take this type of course? Or
Yes.
Tell me your opinion on that.
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. Because some people in our society are gracious enough to donate their bodies to science after they pass away. And literally, it is for that reason. It is for science. If you make a mistake, that is where you should make a mistake. The people leading and teaching at these classes, they literally demonstrate mistakes that are usually made. And literally, when they show you why they're commonly made, they show you the effect right below the surface of the skin. And then that sticks with you. Like, you will never ever make those mistakes ever in life again, because you're literally looking and touching and feeling human anatomy, and you're able to make that mistake there, understand why you made that mistake, understand how to never make that mistake again. And if you do, understand how to correct it and fix it. So that's a mandatory, hands down.
Wow, that's super cool. And I'm going to suggest that for everybody too.
Yes.
Like, if you understand that, it'll help so many problems that it could occur on the field. And a lot of providers I see, they are solo practitioners in their office. So, having that extra support could go so long of a way.
And the connections that you even make in these trainings.
Yeah.
So the connections that the friendships that you make at these events, so it's not only a class, it's like a networking event.
Yeah.
And you make connections. You can pick up the phone and call someone who is better at lips, for example, than you. If they're better at tear troughs than you can call that person. If they specialize in threads, you can call that person. You make so many incredible connections and even friendships. They're more than just learning. It's creating a network and a support system, especially if you're a solo practitioner that is doing aesthetics in your office, which that is my case. My mom doesn't do any aesthetics.
Yeah.
So it's so important to get very connected in this industry, because you always have a lifeline. You always have help if you need it.
So is there anybody that you would suggest for viewers to follow that could be a good resource?
Yeah, so especially if you're getting into aesthetics and you just want to follow someone that is super experienced, I love Dr. Shino Bay.
Yes.
And his techniques are flawless. They're amazing. He does a lot of education on, hey, what if this goes wrong? What do you do? Cute Looks Medi Spa, I would definitely recommend, especially if you're wanting to learn. And even for hands-on training, at least she's local. Yeah. You can literally go to her office, and it is the Audrey Rose Institute. So you can actually enroll in a class with her. And she does a lot of procedures online, and she does education as well. She is an educator. And Julie Horn.
Yeah, those are all great people. Like, I follow them myself. Great information. Great information. Now, what's next? Like, you've accomplished so much. You guys have your own spa and things like that. What's next for you?
What's next? My husband, once again, he's always pushing me. Yeah. So what's next is he is working with some people to possible franchise another location.
Nice.
You say nice and I say exhausting. But possibly franchise at least one or two more locations of mother-daughter primary care. I have a student who is a former student who is now, she's working on gaining experience because we've been kicking that idea around. So I was like, listen, you have to work in internal medicine, for at least 1 to 2 years. She just graduated about a year and a half ago. So I said, you work in internal medicine, and then we can throw the idea of opening one up in Miami that you can run. So that's kind of the what's next. And we want to make a footprint, and we want the reservation that I have about that is, when people come here, they literally see me or my mom.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how is that going to work? Because me and mom are not going to be in Miami. We're going to be right here. So, right. But I guess how my husband works with branding, and, we want to grow in an organic way, but we don't ever want to lose the personal touch.
Yeah.
I think if we lost that, it wouldn't be worth the growth. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for sitting down with me and sharing all this information, Tiffiny, on the aesthetic industry. I'm sure the viewers will learn a lot and gain a lot of knowledge. Tell everybody where they can find you at. Give them all your socials and things like that.
Okay. So on Instagram, you can follow me at MotherDaughterPC. On Facebook, we are named MotherDaughterPrimaryCare. And my personal handle on Facebook is at YaraLeeStarNP. It's the same one on Instagram as well, at YaraLeeStarNP. And on TikTok, I'm at YaraLeeStarNP. And I do a lot of my procedures on there. I post about, I post a lot about also internal medicine symptoms. Like if you're waking up, with a bullseye rash on you, what could that be? And when's it time to see a doctor? Or if you have a butterfly rash on your face, what could that mean? If you have migraine headaches, do you know the triggers? Have you tried stopping those triggers and seeing if they went away? So I post, it's a lot to post, but I like to post a lot of information about overall wellness, because we're not just made of an outside body, right? It's not only dressing up what's outside. It's making healthy what's inside too. So that's where you can find me. We're located at 4141 Northwest 5th Street in Plantation, Florida. Zip code is 33317, and our suite is 102. We're right near the old Plantation General Hospital. So that's where we're physically located. And our office phone number is 954-744-0020. And anyone can feel free to DM me at MotherDaughterPC on Instagram. I answer all the questions super quick.
Awesome.
Or my assistant.
Awesome. Well, until next time, goodbye.
Bye.